Good afternoon, my dear students of class 3. Now today we are going to start with the third chapter, and that is a poem called The Swing. Now the Swing is written by Robert Louis Stevenson. Okay, now before I move on with the explanation, let me first read to you the poem. How do you like to go up in a swing? Up in the air so blue. Oh, I do think it the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. Up in the air and over the wall till I can see so wide. Rivers and trees and cattle and all over the countryside. Till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown. Up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down. Okay, now the first two lines of the poem. Now when we say the swing, I think everybody knows what is a swing, right? Most of you have also sat on the swing. You know how it feels to be sitting on the swing, So this poem is basically about the experience of the poet as he sits on the swing. Now the first line, how do you like to go up in a swing? Now in the first line itself, the poet is asking us, the listeners and the readers, a question. He says, how do you like when you are up sitting on the swing, and when you swing high, how do you feel? Okay, do you like it? That is what the poet is asking us. Up in the air so blue. Now after the question, okay, he's asking, how do you like to sit on the swing? And when you sit on the swing, when you go up high, all you can see is the bright blue sky, the beautiful sky around us. Okay? Now the next two lines. Oh, I do think it the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. Now here, my dear students, pleasantest, what does it mean? It means enjoyable or most pleasing. Okay? So here the poet is interested to know what is the pleasant thing a child could do. There is nothing else that brings pleasure than the freedom of flying on a swing. This is what he meant in these two lines. Okay? Let me repeat again. The poet, now he's interested to know what it is, the pleasant thing a child could do. What is the most pleasant thing a child could do? And he says there's nothing, that gives a child pleasure than the freedom of flying on a swing. Now the next two lines. Up in the air and over the wall till I can see so wide. Now here he says when we go up in a swing very high, okay, we could see over the wall and be able to see far and wide. That means we could see what is behind the wall. Okay, what are the things that are there behind the wall, and we can even see far away things. Okay, that is what he meant in these two lines. Rivers and trees and cattle and all over the countryside. Here the poet tells us that he can see the rivers, he can see the trees as well as the cattle when he looks on the countryside, when he looks over the countryside. Okay, so at this moment the poet is sitting on the swing. He's flying very up high in the air. Okay, he could see what was there over the wall, and these are the things that he saw: rivers, trees and cattle. The next two lines. Till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown. Now here the poet says that as the poet can see over the wall, as the swing starts to fall, when they look down and see the garden green. Now the swing is in the garden, okay, and it is in the garden wall. The child is looking over, or the poet is looking over. Okay, now remember the poet here, he is sitting on a swing in the garden. And as the swing goes up, flies up high in the air, he could see over the garden wall. And when the swing comes down, okay, when it comes back down, what he can see are the roof, and that is the roof of these houses that he saw were brown in color. Up in the air, I go flying again, up in the air and down. These are the last two lines on the poem, okay? Now here the speaker tries to explain the fun and pleasure a child or he himself is having on the swing. You understand? The last two lines tells us that the poet is very happy as he sat on the swing. He could see the beautiful sky, he could see the different things around him, and even when the swing comes down, he was able to see the roof of the houses which were brown in color. And this is what gives the poet the pleasure or the most enjoyable thing in the world. So to him, he says that the swing is the most pleasurable and most enjoyable thing in the world. This is what a child could even get his freedom, okay, freedom of enjoyment. So this is basically the theme or the explanation of the whole poem. The whole poem is about when a child sits on the swing, what does he feel and what he can see. Okay, so I hope you understand the poem. Now in the next class, I will give you questions and answers, and I hope you can do them. So thank you for watching this video and have a nice day.